Welcome, everyone. Hope you have had a good day. We are breaking one thing tonight, and that is a 12-box inner case of Diamond Kings baseball. We are going to have a team available because, deadbeat bitter. Yeah, and you know my favorite part? Somebody who stiffed me before on a break, but then just begged, oh, please let me bid again. It'll never happen. The very next time they bid, yeah, both teams stiffed me on them. So, you want to know why I don't trust people and why I don't let people carry things over? Well, now you know. Anyway, we got rid of one of the teams to the underbidder. The other one we haven't yet, so the Angels is going to be available tonight if somebody wants it. And meanwhile, let's go over some information here while everybody's getting in the room and getting settled. So my feedback is automated on eBay. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you will instantly get the same in return. So that's a little bit of a win-win, and with no waiting to boot. Next thing there is to say thank you. I always appreciate you being here, bidding, breaking, chatting, and hanging out with me. Especially grateful to those of you who do actually pay for your bids. Yeah, unlike some of these people who don't. Of course, I suspect this guy did this tonight on purpose because the instant he won, he requested cancellation. So I'm quite sure he did it on purpose. So some people just, wonder how he'd like it if I went to his work and I just went in and told his boss, hey, take a couple $100 out of this guy's paycheck just because I don't feel like giving it to him this week. I bet he'd love that. All right, so this is what is coming up in the days ahead. So tomorrow night it is a new release product, which is Clearly Authentic Baseball. And we're going to break a 20-box case of that along with 3 boxes of Sage Aspire football. Be sure and look at the listing description on that. It's a new product from Sage. They have a deal with a lot of the top rookies this year, including Joe Burrow. Looks like there's some nice hits in there, not to mention the fact that there are 24 hits per box. Yeah, I know, right? So 72 hit break. And then we'll break a single box of National Treasures basketball. That's all tomorrow night, Wednesday night. On Thursday night, we're going to be breaking a half case of Prism baseball. It is the back half of the case we started on release night. Friday night, we have 3 new releases. It will be an extremely busy night. We will start at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, and I would expect the break to take somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 hours. It might even go a little longer than that. It's a 12-box case of Valiant Baseball, a 12-box inner case of Legacy Football, and a 6-box full case of Series 2 Jumbo. Please note, in both Legacy and Series 2, Veteran Base does not ship to the teams in either break, but Veteran Base is a separate bidding category. And if you look in the listing description, it will tell you what precisely does ship to the teams and what does not. So moving on along to shipping, it is a paid shipping break tonight, and every team will pull cards in here, I feel quite sure. And this is should be out the door, I'm thinking, around Saturday. So as always, it's plus or minus a day. So if the week goes better than planned, maybe it goes out the door on Friday. Something unexpected comes up, could slide a day later, which in this instance would mean Monday. I feel like Saturday, though, is probably about what we're looking at to get this one on the way to you. Now, let me bring you back to me for a second, and we got to talk about the Angels. So, Stephen, you're asking in what break? It is our Diamond Kings break tonight. We have got the Angels available because the person who bid on them didn't pay for them. That and one other team. I did manage to find a home for the other team, but not yet for the Angels. So, Thomas, they ended on eBay for, I think it was like $56. But listen, just make me a reasonable offer because obviously the person who intentionally bid with the intention of never paying, I might add. At least that's certainly how it seems, considering he canceled it as soon as he bid on it, or as soon as he won it, and never said a word in messages, and is the same person who screwed me over a couple of weeks ago. I'm quite sure this was on purpose. So, actually, let me see here. Yeah, it looks like it sold for 56, I think that says, but just make an offer. Just let's find a home for it and keep on trucking. So, Thomas, what would you be willing to offer for the Angels, or anybody else for that matter? let's just find a home for them and keep on moving down the road so we can get our break done here. Thomas, you're offering a 40. Stephen, I see you in there at 25. Thomas has offered 40. And unless anybody else wants to beat 40, they're going to go to Thomas at 40. So if anybody else is interested, you need to type it in there. All right, I see Raymond's popped up at 45. So right now the bid is with Raymond at 45. And if anybody else wants it, speak now or forever hold your peace kind of sitch here, kids. And of course, I do appreciate everybody's interest in this, and we're going to get this sold and get moving here in just a minute. And I assure you, this time, that bidder will be blocked. I'm not buying any sweet talk this time about, oh, falling asleep with your little sick kid or whatever kind of story I got told the last time. All right, so Raymond, they are with you, my friend. I am typing in here right now my PayPal email address. I do not use this for correspondence. If you send me an email there, I will literally never see it. But I do have it tied to some things like PayPal and eBay and a bunch of stuff I don't feel like changing. So even though I don't use it for much else, I know I keep it for that. All right. So Raymond, if you could be so kind as to send over the PayPal payment, I'm going to update a couple things here and then we'll get on the way in just a moment. I'm going to get this all situated on my side of the street here. And then we'll be heading down the road. I appreciate that too. I appreciate everybody's willingness to step in there, which was Stephen, Thomas, Raymond, everybody who has jumped in and offered to help out. It's much appreciated. All right. I think I've got my side done. So while Raymond is over there in PayPal, let's us get back to this for a second. So I think everyone saw this a moment ago, heard me speaking of it, but if you missed it, if you weren't logged in, that's your anticipated shipping date, Saturday, plus or minus a day. And then this is a 12-box inner case of Diamond Kings baseball. This is break number 4. It ended tonight on eBay, the same night we are breaking it, which is Tuesday night, the 23rd of June. We've got our team names there on the left-hand side, and the eBay user ID of each winning bidder is across from their respective teams there on the opposite side. Of course, the Angels marked in as a second chance there for Raymond, who is our hero, stepping in there and picking this up tonight, for which I am very grateful. That allows us to keep on trucking here and get this break done, so thank you for that. Now, one more little piece of business. You are going to see that your background is going to get a little blurry here in a hot second. And it just did get a little blurry. And I don't want you to worry about that, because that was intentional. Yeah, it sure was. Because I don't like all the zooming in and out. It makes me crazy when it does all that zooming in and out, you know, when you're trying to look at cards. So I always just do a fixed position kind of deal. And it does throw the background out of focus. But the good news is it lets us look at the cards up really super close. All right. I know, big stack of boxes. Now I just have to get them all kind of out of the way. But I have learned that's the quickest way to get them out of that case. It took me a few times to figure that out, but I did eventually figure out that that's the fastest way. Otherwise, they're kind of jammed in there, honestly. They're kind of hard to get out sometimes. And we are looking for two autographs or memorabilia cards per box on average. Those little tiny on average words. Panini loves those 2 words. And here's kind of what it means to us in real world talk. Is that every great once in a while, they might leave out a hit they owe us. And that's a little CYA for them. Every once in a while, we might get one more hit than we're due. We like it when that happens. Most of the time, on average, applies when we might get a Panini Rewards Point card. And sometimes they put those in there to replace hits. And that lovely little on average covers that scenario too. If we were to find any rewards points tonight, we would simply use random.org to award them at the end of the break. The other thing we need to know about this little product is that there's some old school guys in here that are in with old franchise names. Now, most of you probably know this, but when a card is pulled for a franchise that is no longer, in other words, it has moved, it's changed its name, it's changed its location, the card will stay with the franchise. Examples of that would be the Montreal Expos, which are the current Washington Nationals, the former Boston Braves, which are the current Atlanta Braves. There are Philadelphia A's in here, and those, of course, would go to the Oakland A's. There are tons of New York Giants in here, right? Yeah, New York Giants. And I mean, that's old school. And they, of course, became the San Francisco Giants. So those cards will go there. We've also got some Washington Senators in here. Many of you probably know there were a couple of versions of the Senators from 1901 to 1960. Those Senators went on to become the Minnesota Twins. The Senators that were there from 1961 to 1972 or 3 went on to become the Texas Rangers. So any Washington Senators that we find tonight, it's just one guy. He will actually go to the Twins. So this guy, he is not affiliated with any team that ultimately became a Major League Baseball team. So his team went defunct without ever affiliating with an MLB team. So there is no franchise history to trace for him. As such, he will set up there in housekeeping, and any of those that we find we'll use tonight, random.org, and give out that way. Now, Christy Mathewson, this is an example of a New York Giant. So that, of course, goes to San Francisco, but, you know, you might look at it and see the color and think, ooh, Mets, but no, it's not. This is what the Mets cards look like. So those kind of orangey ones there, those are generally going to be the New York Giants. Brooklyn Dodgers, of course, became the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's a framed Jackie Robinson out for the Dodgers. Trying to think what else we need to talk about in here. I mean, I think that's most of the stuff. I mean, the Philadelphia A's is a big one. When we come across one, if I notice it, I'll call it out. It's Tony Gwynn framed for the Padres. Basically, the Philadelphia ones that are red in the background, those are really the Phillies. The Philadelphia ones in here that are blue in the background are actually the Philadelphia A's, which go to the Oakland A's because that's how that franchise moved around. Numbered 299, we've got a little Ichiro numbered card for the Mariners. First thing we see tonight that's kind of interesting in there. Stephen, you said you've seen a lot of Shohei Ohtani in this. Oh, for sure. Out of the first or second case that we did, we had a Shohei Ohtani redemption, and I think he is fairly prevalent in here. So this guy here, Goose Goslin, that is a Washington Senator. Based on the year that he played, means he will be going to the Twins. He was an early version of the Senators in the early 1900s. Mookie Betts as a Dodger. He is a Dodger on some inserts in this. He is a Red Sox on others. The cards will go, of course, to whichever team is stated on them. So this relic, of course, saying Los Angeles means that it goes to the Dodgers for Mookie Betts. I think most of the stuff in here that is for the Red Sox are inserts and not hits. I mean, they could be numbered, but I mean, I think most of the autographs, if not all the autographs and relics in here for Mookie, I think are Dodgers. Kyle Lewis and the Seattle Mariners. That is our second hit out of box number 1 and the first autograph that we see tonight. And let's see, what else have we got? There's an artist palette. We'll find loads of those as we go along. And of course, there's a Philadelphia A, Mickey Cochran, so goes to the Oakland A's. I know, they put all these old school guys in here every year. So we go through, a lot of times it's the same guys. And they especially love the New York Giants. They're some of their favorite ones to put in here. Billy Williams framed Cubs. But that is also kind of what's cool about the product, because, you know, you're not going to find those guys and other products floating around there too much. So, kind of fun to get them, I think. And Trevor's here. Hi to you, Trevor. And this will be the last of the Diamond Kings that we're going to open this year. We've got tons of other baseball, of course, but this will be the last of the Diamond Kings for the year. But we've got Prism and Bowman, and of course, Clearly Authentic is coming. We've got Series 2 coming next Friday. We've got Valiant Baseball from Leaf coming next Friday. I think I've still got some Tier 1 here. And I want to say something else. Oh, yeah, we've got a little Pro Debut. Forgot about that. And maybe even another product or two. So we got quite a bit of baseball on hand right now. So we won't be backfilling any Diamond Kings. Unfortunately, a lot of the baseball products have a ton of base in them, so it takes much longer, of course, to break and sort and ship the ones that have a lot of base in them, especially the sorting and shipping part. So it means we can't do as many products per night, and it tends to have things kind of pile up a little sometimes. Thomas, I haven't really noticed any particular corner issues thus far in here. But that's certainly, I mean, as in tonight, but that is certainly not to say that we won't come across some, or that there may not be a few that are that way. I mean, you guys know how it works right out of the pack. A lot of times there are issues with cards being imperfect, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if we see some tonight that way. We have a redemption, so the plot thickens there. But yeah, right? I didn't turn it over because I'm mean like that. That's Abraham Toro for the Astros. Well, we do it the same way every time, actually. Any redemption that we find, it stays right up there in that housekeeping area, and it hangs out there until the end of the night. And then any and all redemptions that we find, we flip them over one right after another, check them out, and then go to the Panini website and find out what, if anything, they are numbered to. So we do that the same way every time. So we do have one redemption so far that's waiting for us. Meanwhile, we have got a Garrett Cole relic for the Yankees, and those are obviously, this was material from when he was another team, I would think. That because, well, it's yellow and all. So one would think he wore that as an Astro, but of course the card says Yankees, so that's where it's going to go, and it is still game worn, game used by that player anyway, even though it is the wrong color scheme for the Yankees. There is Goldschmidt for the Cardinals. And yeah, going back to just talking about the corners, not only of this card, but of really any card. Guy who owned our local card shop for 25 years. He sold it, I don't know, I guess about a year and a half ago by now. But he owned it for 25 years. And he asked a rep one time, I don't remember if it was from Topps or Panini, but he asked the guy, you know, what about the cards and why they didn't come out perfect or whatever. And I mean, who knows what the guy told him in regard to why they didn't. But the part that I remember that the store owner told me is that the rep told him that their expectation is that the average card out of the pack would grade a 7. There's Trevor Story for the Colorado Rockies. So in other words, they know, these manufacturers know that these cards are not coming out of these packs at 10s or even 9s or even 8s. I mean, the guy literally told him their expectation is that the average card out of a pack would grade on average a 7. I mean, isn't that a little surprising? It's like, I guess whatever it is, they can't control it, or they would, I suppose, and they know it, but yet, I guess they can't totally control it. I don't know. Could be, could be. Oh, Thomas, you've got the Yankees. Oh, you said, yeah, it could be the yellow from the Pirates. Oh, that's true. Gosh, that'd be way back, man. Oh, wow. If they're holding on to some of those Pirates uniforms, they've had that a while. But yeah, I guess it could be the Pirates. Usually it'll say, you know, on the back, it was worn when he was a member of XYZ. So I looked at the back of that one, but I didn't see that though. So they're not going to fess up as to which team it was from, I suppose. But I guess the important part is that he wore it, right? Well, and then the important part to you is that it said Yankees on it. So that means it goes to you no matter what color it is. That's the good news there. But yeah, I miss the guy who owned our card shop. I wish he hadn't retired. He was always such a great source of information. He'd been in the business so long and had that store for so long. And, you know, he knew all kinds of interesting stuff. You could just ask him just about anything, and probably at some point in time he encountered it or knew about it or knew how to find the answer. And I miss it, man. The people who bought it are, what's the word I'm looking for? Gaming guys. So like they're, you know, Pokemon and it's not Dungeons and Dragons, but whatever those other cards are like that, Wizards or something, I don't know. Hack Wilson for the Cubbies with a framed one. I can't think what those other cards, but you know what I mean, cards that, they're not sports cards, they're gaming cards. So the people who bought the sports card store were gaming card people, and they bought it because it's in relatively close proximity to a school. Michael Baez and the Padres framed. So I mean, it's not like right across the street, but it's maybe a half mile up the road or something from a school. 3/4 of a mile maybe. And so they thought they'd get all the kids for gaming to come up there. Andrew Benintendi, a Jersey Kings hit for the Red Sox. Oh, Magic. There you go, guys. Yeah, thanks. I see Jay Allen. Hi, Jay Allen. I thought you weren't going to be here tonight. Well, good to see you. Yeah, Jay Allen and Thomas both said, yeah, Magic. Magic the Gathering or whatever, right? Yeah, that's it. Clearly, I'm not into the gaming cards, obviously, or I would have known that. Although, I think some of those cards are worth a lot of money, aren't they? Some of the early ones of like Pokemon and of that. Now, there's a Mookie Betts that is a Red Sox. So I knew for sure there was at least one in here that was a Red Sox, and it is that one. There are maybe other Mookie inserts that will say Boston, but the majority of them, I think, will be for the Dodgers. And Brendan McKay in the Tampa Bay Rays, our next appearance. And that's a nice looking little relic and autograph combo there for your young rookie pitcher, Brendan McKay. There's a framed all-time Diamond Kings Ryan Sandberg, and that heads to the Cubbies. Little Chicago. So yeah, gaming card people, I don't know. The idea, I think, was to switch over a lot of the inventory to gaming. Honestly, I haven't been in there since they bought it. Is that awful? It is, I know. I've called them a few times because I wanted to try to make a deal to buy some stuff when some of my things were delayed in transit. And it turns out theirs were delayed every bit as long as mine were, but before we knew that that was going to be the case, I had called over there and tried to make a deal to buy some stuff, but I haven't actually been in there since they bought it. I kind of don't want to because it's going to bum me out if I go in there and it's all full of gaming cards and like sports cards are tucked away in some tiny little cobwebby corner. I'll be really sad. But apparently these guys are like known nationwide for their gaming cards. And they're based out of, I think, Cynthiana, which is, I don't know, 30 minutes from here maybe. And have some big warehouse there, and allegedly are like one of the biggest online gaming card dealers anywhere. So, there you have it. Jay Allen, you're just there for a second because you got to get some rest. All right, my friend. He is looking for Diamondbacks, Marlins, Padres, and Rangers. All right, my friend. I will do my best to find some of those for you and see what we can come up with. Meanwhile, we have got ourselves a Jake Fraley here. And it is numbered to 10. Ah, how you like that, Mariners? A Jake Fraley autograph to 10 for Seattle. Always like the low-numbered stuff. I guess everybody does. That's a silly thing to say. Nobody wants the high-numbered stuff. That is the Boston Red Sox, Johnny Pesky. For the Sox. With our little framed card there. It used to be that those framed cards were numbered sometimes, but you know, I haven't seen a single one this year that's been numbered out of what I've broken anyway. Past years, it seems like we found a fair amount of those that were numbered, doesn't it? Maybe I'm just imagining that. Chris Bryant, Cubs. So I guess they're telling us that Manfred is going to mandate a 60-game season, and they're expecting to start playing at the end of July. That's the last I heard. They still have to agree on the health and safety protocols, though. Sean Murphy and the Oakland A's. This is an artist proof, and it is numbered to 49. So I believe that it is teams, players, teams, whatever, reporting to their respective home facilities to begin training on July the 1st. And the season to start like 24th, 25th of July is what they're saying, kind of, I guess. I don't know that it's officially been mandated yet, but I guess it's coming, and that's going to be the deal. But they do have to agree on their health and safety protocol. It's Carl Hubble. This is New York Giants, so goes to San Francisco Giants. I just don't hardly know how they're going to do it either. I mean, they're having to shut down whole facilities because of players coming down with COVID. So how do they, I just don't know how they think they're going to do this, really. Montreal Expos, Gary Carter. And, of course, former Montreal Expos, current Washington Nationals. So the Nationals with the Gary Carter Bat Kings relic. It's gonna be a crazy season no matter how you look at it. And I wonder if they'll actually even get it played. I really do. Because I could imagine a scenario where they all report back And then you have several teams that end up with little outbreaks before they ever even get to opening day. And then they'd have to shut it all down again. Because you're talking about, what, 3 weeks that they would kind of all, any given team would be together in their facilities, I think. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Meanwhile, at least we have new cards to keep us entertained now. So that's the good news of that story. Lots of new releases on the horizon. Mr. Ronald Acuna Jr. comes out for the Atlanta Braves. And not numbered or anything, but a cool looking little set of relics. Well, the card's cool looking. The relics are, well, they're kind of boring. It's 2 white ones, but it's still, the card itself is cool looking. Goldie Cardinals. And on we go. There's a lot of base in this product. Well, like I said, though, there's a lot of base in just about every baseball product that comes out. It seems like there are a few, obviously, that don't have a ton of base, but the majority of them really do have a lot. Tony Gwynn, Padres, framed. Oh, my neighbors are starting with fireworks again. This is their 3rd week going now of fireworks virtually every night. Yeah, I mean, fireworks are fun sometimes, but maybe not every single night for 3 weeks. It's Bryce Harper for the Phillies, framed. And we have got a numbered card to 25, and that is Evan Longoria headed to the Tampa Bay Rays on one of the all-time Diamond Kings inserts. And we've got Donnie Walton, Mariners, cleaning up tonight, aren't they? And that one, of course, headed to Seattle. Thomas, you said they have a lot of stuff to figure out in such a little time. You doubt it'll go as planned. I agree with you. I will be shocked if that actually, if they hit exactly the mark they think they're going to hit. I would not be the least bit surprised if they don't end up having to shut it all back down before they ever play a game. Because, I mean, honestly, there are a lot of places that are really starting to flare up again since everything's opened up and people are getting out and getting back to a routine. There's a lot of places with upticks, and, of course, Florida and Arizona are a couple of those places, so there was no chance they were going to be going back to any kind of spring training site or anything like that. So I think deciding to keep them all at their home ballparks, that was and is a good idea, but I don't know. Still only takes one person who has it and maybe doesn't have any symptoms and spreads it around before you know it. Whoosh, there goes a team. All in quarantine. I do think it helps that they're going to have, well, I assume with the mandated season, they're still going to have the realignment of the divisions so that everybody's kind of staying close to home. We hope, anyway. But that means if they do start back that weekend that they're planning to start back, they would actually get started a couple of days before NBA, believe it or not, who's been ready to at least have their stuff decided for much longer. It's Bobby Bradley and the Indians. And without such public spatting. We have a little Josh Donaldson. Hey, hey, how about that? Some veteran ink there. Josh Donaldson, numbered 250. And that is out for the Minnesota Twins. An Ohtani insert. Aficionado insert. We've seen lots of those, of course. A framed Ketel Marte for the Diamondbacks. So I wonder what happens to their money if they end up playing either no games or less than 60 games. Would they only get the money they've already been given so far? Or would they still get additional money even if something else gets canceled? Justin Verlander, Astros, quad relics, and all 4 of them plain white. I mean, come on, Panini. You could have given us a little tiny dash of some other color in there, one would think. But they did not. They just gave us that little 4 white squares. Yordan Alvarez with a framed rookie card there for the Astros and Yordan Alvarez. You know what else? It's going to make update weird this year. Because, you know, normally, I mean, it's pretty much scheduled, the rookies that are going to go out in Series 1. Well, that's always scheduled, and I think mostly defined by Major League Baseball. They come in, or the Players Association will come in and say, hey, this is who we want to be in the rookie product of Series 1. And then, of course, the rookies for Series 2 are also generally planned out in advance. And update's always been kind of the wild card, right? I mean, that's where we get the guys who have been called up often and then are showing out after being called up, and late call-ups and things like that often show up in update, and I guess we're not going to really have much of that kind of stuff, so I don't know what's going to go in update this year. It'll be interesting, though, won't it? I mean, I'm sure they'll have a plan for what's going to go in there, but probably won't be exactly the same as it's been in some other years anyway. And it kind of makes the valuation more challenging, doesn't it? Because on guys like Robert for the White Sox, that, I mean, looks like he's going to be really good. So we've established kind of mentally, ooh, we think he's going to be this, and we've set his card values accordingly. But we haven't seen him play. So what if he's a lot better or a lot worse? Well, we've seen him play, but you know what I mean. On a consistent level on the MLB club. So it kind of keeps card values more static, really, I think. Obviously, they normally jump based on performance for rookies. So somebody heats up, their card value suddenly jumps. Somebody goes in a slump, and their card value goes in a little bit of a slump as far as rookies go. But this year, we haven't had a chance for anybody to shine or slump. The values are just kind of consistent, I guess is the word. And then some of the guys who may not actually end up playing in the bigs this year as a result of all this, but have their rookie cards in this year's product, if they heat up when they do show up next year, then you will have either had to be really good at forecasting and have some socked back, Jake Rogers, Detroit Tigers, or there'll be a huge run on 2020 baseball, of which there also won't be as much as normal because less was produced. Richie Ashburn, all-time Diamond Kings, and that is Philadelphia. Yeah, Gavin Lux, that's another one, you're right. I mean, of course, we did get a little bit of an extended look at Gavin Lux, and he looked really, really good when we did see him last fall. So I think that obviously kind of has his card value set on maybe a little bit higher trajectory at the moment anyway than Robert's, I think. The Arizona Diamondbacks with an autograph for Domingo, and I never say it right, Leyba, I don't know. You know I'm going to butcher it. You just know I am. There is a framed one for Mule Suttles going up there into our little pile. So I do think that is going to make next year interesting, because all these guys who have cards, their rookie cards in this year's product, there will not, I don't think, be a ton of 2020 product left available at any kind of reasonable price in 2021, because it's all being printed in less quantities. Numbered to 99, Pete Rose for my Cincinnati Reds. At least up to this point. Now, they're going to, at some point, they're going to get caught up, and maybe they'll go back to full print runs when they get caught up. But right now, of course, they're just trying to reschedule all of the stuff that they missed when the printer was shut down, plus work in the other products that were due to show up. There is a Bat Kings Richie Ashburn, and that is numbered to 25, and that is Philadelphia. And I believe that's the Phillies and not the A's. I will want to double check that, though. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Hang on one second. I just want to make sure on that, because that's a low-numbered Bat Kings card there. So I do just want to make certain that I'm not telling you incorrectly. I'm pretty sure he's a Philadelphia Philly, though. Or a Philadelphia Philly and not a Philadelphia A is what I'm trying to say. But I'm going to look it up right now. And survey says, yeah, Phillies. And that's what I thought. But I just, wanted to make sure, because all these old school guys in here, I don't want to mess somebody over on something. So yeah, it goes to the Phillies. So we had an election here today. Our statewide election was supposed to have been a while back, but of course they delayed it with everything that was going on. And then they requested that most people vote by absentee ballot instead of going to polling places. So they only opened like a couple of polling places. Well, I think one in each major city, and I don't know what they did in the little outlying cities. But the majority of the voting was by absentee voting. So even though our election was tonight, we won't know the winners for a week. Isn't that crazy? I'm thinking, man, didn't y'all start counting those ballots as they came in? I guess they didn't, but it seems like they should have, doesn't it? Of course, a lot of them probably still came in, really close to the deadline, but any of the ones that came in early, boy, I would have wanted to get those babies opened up and counted, but I'm sure you can't. Probably some law or something that dictates all that fun stuff. Logan Allen. And autograph relic pairing out for the Cleveland Indians. And there's a Mookie Betts framed for the Dodgers. Man, it's hard to believe that the 4th of July is right around the corner. Isn't that crazy? I mean, we should be getting ready to think about the All-Star break, and instead, we haven't even started. Miguel Cabrera. Miggy has some relics for the Detroit Tigers. At least we got a couple of gray ones on there. A couple of gray, a couple of white. Not all white anyway, so that makes me happy. And a framed Tris Speaker. That is the Boston Red Sox. Whoops. And if I've missed any mule settles and he's over in with the other base stacked over there, I will of course find it when I sort it, and it'll ultimately get added to that pile if it needs to be. Joe Wood, Boston Red Sox framed. Because I catch probably most of them when they go through, but definitely I doubt I catch all of them. Because sometimes I just forget to be on the lookout for him. Multitasking and all, you know how that goes. Wonder if all these guys who would normally be training and playing and all that, I wonder like how many of them have gained a quarantine 10 or something. You know, I always hear about like the freshman 15. Is there like a quarantine 10 pounds or something? All these guys will show up for training and be like a little pudgy and out of shape. I don't know. They might not be. They probably won't be. They probably, I mean, they're all, well, not all, but most of them are pretty wealthy, I would say, and have facilities at their disposal at their home or whatever. So they probably were pretty disciplined and stayed in shape. But, man, I don't know if I would have been in that situation. I'd probably be kicked back and having some ho-hos and soda. I'd show up and be like, hey, wait, you gotta lose like 20 pounds. Oh, I'm sure they're more disciplined than that, though. Keston Hiura for the Brewers, framed. You do hear, though, a lot of people talking about how they gained weight during the quarantine because they just stayed home and watched TV and, you know, snacked or whatever. Milwaukee Brewers and Paul Molitor. There's a throwback. Bat Kings. There are probably also people, though, that lost weight because they weren't eating out and stuff, you know. They were fixing food at home and was probably, as a result, healthier, less calories and stuff. Tris Speaker for the Red Sox. So there's probably some of both. Yu Chang. And it is relics and an autograph paired together, not numbered, and all going to the Cleveland Indians. Just shipped out some Diamond Kings. Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers. Gonsolin. I've got, what else? Seems like I shipped out something else today. I'm pretty sure I did, but I can't think what. Is that numbered? Yeah. Oh, it's a 1 of 1. Ho-ho! Yeah, it's numbered all right. A little 1 of 1 for Eloy. So, you know what? Let's just put him in a case. Why not? It's a 1 of 1. Why not put him in a case? Let me make sure I've got one for him. I've got to remember to order some more of this size case because we've hit a lot of 1 of 1s lately. And, of course, some of them have been other sizes, but we've hit a fair amount that have been just the regular, what I'm going to call the regular card size. And I'm almost out of these little one-touch cases. I got to order some more of those bad boys. So there it is, a little 1 of 1 Eloy Jimenez for the White Sox. We've been on a good little run lately with 1 of 1s. Ah, Mike, that's yours? Well, congratulations. That's a nice little hit for you, my friend. I like Eloy, so that's a nice one. Of course, I like any 1 of 1. Don't get me wrong. I like them all. I even like the printing plates. Some people don't like the printing plates, but I do. So I like all the 1 of 1s, but of course, obviously, when they're of a more high-profile player, like Eloy and etc., they're worth a little more money. All right. This is box number 10 that we're in right now of the 12. You probably know that because you can see the 2 sitting back there, but usually I remember to say that sort of thing and along the way when we get the halfway point and stuff, and I didn't tonight. That is numbered to 99, Bryce Harper, and that unfortunate portrayal. A lot, that's Mookie for the Red Sox. A lot of those illustrations are unflattering this year. That's the nice way to say it. Numbered to 49, it is a Zach Gallen artist proof for the Diamondbacks. Yeah, we've had a couple of breaks where we chimed in chat and myself and said what we thought each of those representations, like what they reminded us of. Hank Greenberg, Detroit Tigers. And somebody said for the Bryce Harper one that looks like he should be on a most wanted poster. It's the eyes on his, though. It's the eyes that are just messed up in that illustration. Some of these are better than others, okay? There's some that are not too bad, and there are others that you're like, who drew that? There's an Eloy relic combo. Got a piece of the bat, 3 pieces of fabric, and not all white ones, no less. 2 black ones and a white one and a piece of the bat. So White Sox hit again. Of course, I can't draw or illustrate anything. Arizona Diamondbacks, Randy Johnson framed. So I probably shouldn't be knocking on the people who at least can do a somewhat correct likeness. Or at least a recognizable likeness. Maybe that's the word I need to say. Yeah, maybe. Mike, you're a big fan of Eloy. You think he's going to be very good? Yeah, or you said great, but yeah, agreed. He is going to be great. Very good. Vlad Guerrero. And that is the Montreal Expos. So once again, former Expos, current Dodger, or former Expos, current Nationals. Goes to the Nationals. Where did I get Dodgers? I have no idea. No idea. I was thinking about Eloy. Ooh, Walker Buehler. This guy's already good. I do think he's going to be another guy that gets better as time goes on. That is the Dodgers. So I guess I had Dodgers on the brain for a reason. It is numbered to 25 with your young ace Walker Buehler. And you don't pull a ton of Walker Buehler autographs in general. So I think that's particularly nice little hit there. All right, here we are rolling into box number 11, coming on down the line. And Breeding Entertainment is here. Hi, Breeding Entertainment. And he knows Trevor. Oh, and he's talking like Yoda. Good luck, I am. Bringing you hits, I will. I know, it's a terrible Yoda imitation. I know it was. You don't have to say it. I know it. I never claimed I could talk like Yoda. Breeding Entertainment. Well, thank you. That's very nice. I appreciate that. The kind words are much appreciated. You overlooked my bad Yoda. I love Star Wars, so okay, I do. So I cannot tell you that I don't. I do love Star Wars. Not the prequels. They kind of make me have problems. They make me cringe. They give me nightmares. I have problems with them. But the original trilogy and the sequels, I love. The prequels, oh, they're tough. I will say I watched them again recently. I did watch the whole saga, start to finish, all 9 in order, not too long ago, because, well, what else do we have to do? Well, I had work to do, but still, everybody had a lot of downtime. Miguel Cabrera, Detroit Tigers. So that's one of the things we did, was watch the trilogy in order, or the saga in order. And I will say I did gain somewhat of an appreciation for the prequels, more so than I had. I still don't like them, but I don't dislike them as much as I originally did. Pete Alonso, the polar bear for the Mets with Downtown, our From Downtown insert. And that is an unofficial case hit, because Panini doesn't like to call their stuff case hits. Why, you ask? Well, it is the same reason they like to put on average on all their packaging, because they don't always give you what they're supposed to give you. If they called it a case hit, you'd be able to put their feet to the fire and say, hey, I didn't get XYZ. And this way, they can say, oh, we didn't promise it was a case hit. We said it's ultra rare. Yordan Alvarez. Woohoo! How you like me now if you got the Astros? It is numbered to 49. 2 nice looking relics and your autograph for the Astros. Very nice. I can already see our other hit on the horizon too, but I just didn't want them both to come out super early. That's framed for the New York Giants, which of course are the current San Francisco Giants. And Mel Ott there. Mel Ott is framed all-time Diamond Kings. And I bet, can you tell who our other hit is? Can you see it from, I don't know, maybe you can't back there. Sometimes I set them close and you can see who they are. If they're farther back, you can't. But it's going to be the relics, I believe, based on the way the card looks. But, unbelievably, it's Eloy again. Is that crazy or what? Been on a little Eloy run here for the last couple minutes, and we got a pinstripe. Woohoo! That is numbered to 99. It's another one for the White Sox. Pair of relics and all Eloy tonight. If you're the White Sox, you're rolling in some Eloy Jimenez. So, in other words, it's a good thing you like him because you got a lot of it. You can wallpaper the house with Eloy before you're done tonight. Ah, Tom, the Yordan Alvarez goes to you. All right, nice. Nicely done. I'm happy it was signed. That's great that it was. I wasn't sure when I saw the back of it if it was going to be a signed one or just relics. And so it was good to see that it was signed when we flipped that little bad boy over. All right, so we are officially in our last box, which means it is last box mojo time. So this is where we will collectively focus our energies and try to spring forth a gigantic, volcanic, amazing hit out of here. Let's go for it. Now, don't forget, we've got well, redemption. There's like, where did my mind go? I couldn't think of the word. We have a redemption yet to look at. So here's what will happen. We're going to obviously look through these cards out of box number 12 first. After we look through those, we will flip over that redemption, find out who's on the other side of it, go to the Panini website and check it out, find out what, if anything, it might be numbered to. Then we will go to random.org and we will give away the little pile of Mule Settles cards, since the team he played for previously is not affiliated, never became affiliated with any Major League Baseball team, so there's no franchise history to trace back on him. So we'll give him out. Then after we give him out and look at the redemption, we will come back through and recap our numbered cards, our autographs, and our relics. Dustin May, Dodgers. Then after all of that happens, I will put up the spreadsheet again, showing you your anticipated shipping date, and that's Manny Machado, Padres framed. And then we'll also take one more peek at what is coming up in the days ahead as far as breaks go. So that's what the next 10 minutes or so are going to look like around here. In case you were wondering, and if you weren't, well, you know anyway. So how about that? All right. We haven't seen either hit yet, have we? Oh, now we have. We've seen one of them. It is Kenny Lofton, the first one that we see. And is it going to be numbered? Should be. Yes, it is numbered to 25. Got a little Kenny Lofton autograph there for the Cleveland Indians. Still looking for one more hit, but not anymore because there it is. And it is Miguel Cabrera. So we've got a relic there for Miggy and the Tigers. That's our last live hit. And of course the redemption to flip in a moment after we look through the last of these. See what other fabulous fun awaits us. A Pete Rose for the Cincinnati Reds that was framed. Charlie Hustle, also known as Mr. I Bet on Baseball. I say that with all good intentions. Reds are my team. But yeah, that was... Pete shouldn't have done that. I mean, now, come on. Okay, let's take a look here. If we had a drum roll, we would do it right now. It is... Oh, it's the Big Hurt, baby. Frank Thomas bringing it home tonight for the White Sox. DK206 Signatures Hollow Blue. So that's probably going to be numbered. Probably going to be fairly low numbered. And it's the Big Hurt. Oh, I like that. I like it. All right, let's go over here and check it out. Here we go. There's where I need to be. Yeah, I figured we'd find a redemption, so handily I had it set up, everything but the card set. We're looking for DK206 Signature Hollow Blue. And card number 5, the Big Hurt, is going to be numbered to 25. Woohoo! Nice. White Sox just crushed it tonight. Oh, look at that. Mike already has one. He's already typing it in there. He goes, yeah, it's going to be 25. Already got one. Well, dang it. Here I was thinking we had something really cool for you, and you already had it. Well, now you have 2, so you have almost 10% of the ones in existence. If you had half of another one, you'd have 10% of all of them that exist in the whole world. So, well, shoot. I was all happy thinking we had a real good one for you. I'm sorry you already had it, man. Well, one to keep, one to sell, right? All right, let's get a little bag here for Mule. That's what this whole stack is. And we're just going to be, if I find more when I'm sorting, I will just simply add them to this little stack. And for the moment, they are going in this bag because I'm going to write on it in a second, because we're going to use random.org to find them a new home. So it's pretty easy. Copy all the team names here from our handy dandy spreadsheet. Roll back over here to random.org and paste them in. Oh, what is it doing? Oh, that's weird. What is that doing? Oh, that was weird. I don't know what that was. That was crazy. All right, well, whatever. So we do random the same thing, the same way every time. It works like this. When I have 9 or fewer, I do random 3 times, and only the third random counts. The first 2 don't. When I have 10 or more, which obviously we do here, we do random 1 single time. So now that you know that, I'm scrolling through here. You're going to get a chance to make sure all the teams were copied and pasted. You can see them all in there. We're going to run random once, and here we go. Comes up to the Cubbies. So the Chicago Cubs will get this little pack of Mule Settles cards. So we're just going to go ahead and label those and get those out of here, and that will be the Cubs. All right, we've got a From Downtown, Pete Alonso, New York Mets. Artist Proof, numbered to 49, the Diamondbacks. Bryce Harper and the Phillies, numbered to 99. Charlie Hustle to 99 for the Cincinnati Reds. Evan Longoria to 25, the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays. I was like, oh, God, did he get moved from somewhere? Oh, yeah, I know. Some of these guys switch teams. It takes me a minute. Sean Murphy and the Oakland A's. And there is an Ichiro to 99 for the Mariners. And our 1 of 1 for Mr. Eloy Jimenez and the White Sox with a 1 of 1. Next up, Cabrera, Tigers, numbered to 25, the Phillies and Richie Ashburn. The Arizona Diamondbacks with Domingo. There's a Verlander for the Astros. Donaldson, the Minnesota Twins. Donnie Walton for the Seattle Mariners. Acuna for the Braves. And Gary Carter, Expos, which is Nationals. And you have a little Jake Fraley here. That one is numbered to 10. That's going to Seattle as well. Followed by Brendan McKay, Tampa Bay Rays. Benintendi, Benny Baseball for the Red Sox. Garrett Cole for the Yankees, obviously, and a prior uniform on the card there. Kyle Lewis and the Seattle Mariners. And Mookie Betts for the Dodgers. In our next stack of hits, we have a Frank Thomas autograph, numbered to 25 for the White Sox. And then it is Kenny Lofton That is numbered to 25 as well. That's headed to the Cleveland Indians. Nice little Walker Buehler here to 25 for the Dodgers. Eloy Relics, White Sox. Yu Chang, and that is also the Cleveland Indians. Molitor for the Brewers. Miggy, Tigers. Logan Allen, Indians. I didn't really realize Cleveland hit as much tonight as they did, but they kind of did, didn't they? And there's Eloy again for the White Sox, numbered to 99. And then this little beauty here with Yordan Alvarez, numbered to 49 for the Houston Astros. Woohoo! All right, so there goes the break and the recap. Now, as promised, I'm going to give you a little spreadsheet info, shipping info, etc. coming up right now. Saturday, that's my anticipated shipping date. As always, plus or minus a day. The week goes swimmingly, might go out a day early. Something goes off the rails or unexpected happens, could go a day later, which in this instance would, of course, push it to Monday if it went a day later. But I am hopeful that it will be out on or before Saturday. That's the plan anyway. Every team should have pulled cards in there, so I don't anticipate that we need to worry about consolation cards. Tomorrow night, Clearly Authentic. It's a new release. We'll open a 20-box case of that. 3 boxes of Sage Aspire Football. We will have 72 hits in that. They do have a deal this year with a lot of the top rookies, and they have a lot of guaranteed hits, like first-round quarterback guaranteed in every box, etc. Should be an interesting break. Take a look at the sales materials. They're cut and pasted at the bottom of the listing description, but I think it's going to be pretty good. 72 autograph hits in there. And then we'll break a box, loose box of National Treasures basketball. It's all tomorrow night. Thursday night, it's Prism Baseball. It is a half case break, and it's the back half of a case that we opened started on release night. Friday night, Friday's a big release day, so we're going to start early, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Listings will start ending early, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 or 20 after 6. And we will open a case of Valiant Baseball, a 12-box inner case of Legacy Football, a 6-box jumbo case of Top Series 2 Baseball. Veteran Base does not ship to the teams in Legacy or Series 2. It's a separate bidding category in both instances. It will be a long break, probably 3 hours, maybe more. So bring snacks, bring a sleeping bag for that matter. Then Saturday and Sunday will both be off nights. And so that has got me all finished up for tonight. As always, I thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it very much. I hope that you have a great rest of your week, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. I mean, I always enjoy having the company, and you come and hang out with me anytime. But in the meantime, stay safe and happy and healthy, and I will be back at it tomorrow night. So we'll see you then.